Welcome to Salsido Paranormal. I'm your host, James Salsido, and tonight I'm continuing an older series that I stopped for a while, talking about haunted places in the U.S. As always, you can find all the links, all the episodes of the show, links to social media, and ways to listen to the show at the website and to support the show at the website, and that is salsidoparanormal.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.com. And support is never expected, but always appreciated, as there are expenses in making the show. There's a couple different ways to do that. You can sign up for the Patreon feed and or check out the merchandise store, both of which can be found at the website, and go from there. Also, please check out links to other friends of the show. That would be Jen, the Arcane Observer, and her channel, who also is usually the co-host of the show on Saturdays, as well as Michael Strange of Trouble Minds Radio and the Trouble Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting, where you can hear all kinds of amazing shows, as well as my own, 24/7. So this is, as I said here, I started a series. I'm not even sure how long ago it was now, year, 2 years, something like that. Talking about just a handful of places that are said to be haunted in each of the states in the U.S. And we got to partway through the list of places in Colorado before I stopped, due to just all kinds of things, life in general. But yeah, so we're starting that series back up again. We're still on Colorado, and we're gonna be putting out these shows, probably two of these per week, every other week. I plan on alternating between these and the review shows of The Book of the Damned by Charles Fort and his other books after I finish that one. So this is just so that for those that maybe are not into the Charles Fort stuff so much, you'll have other things to listen to every other week. So, and the way I do this is I get a short list of places together that are said to have paranormal activity around them, in and around them, and then I find what articles I can about them online, and then I just sort of summarize these articles on the show. And I usually try to do 2 articles per show or per location, and then if I really do get to a lot in these 2 articles, then I can move on to the next location. And that's basically the way that this series is working. There is no way to get a comprehensive, complete, exact list of all the haunted places in each state. I don't believe, because uh, there's just so many. If you look online to begin with, if you try to do that, you will find just so many places in any one state, and so this is not in any way a complete listing. It's just a handful of locations in each state to show that these strange anomalous things seem to happen just about everywhere. And or if you're sort of skeptical about this, the reports of these strange things seem to come from just about everywhere. Also, for those of you that are listening in live, if if I start to break up at all, please let me know as far as audio goes. I've had some issues recently. I'm not sure if it's on my end or if it's on Discord's end, what has been going on. But if I break up, then please let me know, and we will just save this for another time when I've either figured things out or things have fixed themselves. So just want to put that out there for anyone that's listening to live to the show here tonight as I'm on Discord recording this. So I appreciate that if you could do that if that happens. But so yeah, I've enjoyed doing the series. I just want to move on to other things, and but now I'm ready to come back to it and start again. So this first place I'm going to talk about is the Molly Brown house. This article is from hauntedhouses.com. This first one here. And it says that there's apparently apparitions of the original owners, even some of their guests, and a servant as well that are responsible for the paranormal activity there, according to this article. It says that the house is red sand and rhyolite stone Victorian mansion. It has 3 stories. It's 3 stories tall, and it was built in 1889. It says the article here that the claim to fame at the time or not long after was that Margaret Tobin Brown, which I'm guessing is where Molly comes from, and her husband, James Joseph Brown, bought it in 1894. And so the article does say here Margaret is better known as Molly Brown, who is the most famous survivor of the sinking of the Titanic. Her lifeboat was picked up after that whole sinking there, the disaster there, and as soon as that happened, she started to take care of other survivors. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. I ran out of time. And so she started to take care of other survivors. And after they all were rescued, and she became a national hero, in part for this, even inspiring a show, The Unsinkable Molly Brown, on Broadway. So the show reminded people in Denver about about her all the things that she had done, and which led to a successful effort to save the house, the mansion, from being destroyed at one point. So, which is always good because I think these places, it's so easy to just destroy older buildings and build new things, and I don't think that should be done to all these places whenever it can be avoided. The Molly Brown house has a combination of classic Queen Anne architecture. I'm sorry, combination of classic, Queen Anne style. So I guess there's multiple styles, including Richardsonian, Romanesque, and refined neoclassical. I am not an architecture expert, but so it has gray stones and red stones, and which sounds amazing. I'm sure these articles here have pictures as well, so I will be sharing the articles in the episode description as well that I talk about here, that I summarize. And so this there's also stained glass windows, ornamental wood panels, and curved brackets as well. So getting to the next section here, the home is considered upper class, it says, but not to the point of being a mansion for the extremely wealthy. So it does have some things like electric lights, telephone, and indoor plumbing, which of course were big things when they first came out. So it does go into more of the details of the home itself, as far as the dining room and things, the physical attributes of that. But we will go forward into more of the paranormal things here and the history. Kind of already did the history, so at least part of it. And these articles are a lot longer. If I tried to read one of these in a show, it probably wouldn't fit. So I definitely recommend checking out these articles for all the history of the locations and the people that live there, because that's important as well. And so I'm just scrolling. So as far as the what has happened there, Uh, there have been reports of the owners of the home, which of course would be Molly Brown and her husband, James Joseph, or JJ, as the article calls him. They've been seen to move around the mansion, going about daily life as if they were still sort of here in a physical sense, doing what they like to do while they were alive. It says here, says that staff and guests to the museum, which is now what it is apparently, have smelled pipe and cigar smoke, and says the telltale sign that JJ is enjoying his smokes again, although there's no smoking allowed for the living, which is something you hear about in these places. The only thing that I have to say about that is I know I've heard that sometimes wood and other materials can retain the scent of things over time, but I would guess it'd be pretty difficult for that to stay around for over 100 years, but I could be wrong on that. So just keep that in mind when it comes to scents that people pick up. There is a possibility it could be explained away. Cold spots have also been felt in Molly Brown's room, and her apparition has been seen as she goes around corners. So there's also another woman that's dressed in a Victorian dress, and this is apparently not Molly herself. She will sit at the dining room table and has even allowed people to take pictures of her. And when sometimes she also likes to rearrange the chairs around the same table, which is amazing as well. Apparently the window blinds in one of the rooms will go up or down on their own as well. There's now Molly's mother has also been seen there at times. And so she's been caught on photographs in looking at outside from the windows from the window of the room that she stayed in. There's also another man, not the husband, who was a servant there, and this man has been seen in the mirror near the stairs on the first floor. So the article talks about, is it still haunted? And it says yes, indeed. 5 to 6 entities have moved back into their own home. So yeah, all the people that used to live there supposedly are still there. And this is something you hear about with some of these bigger places. The people that lived there before, whether it's because they like the home or there's, again, trauma that happened that sort of draws them there still. The memories of it, I don't know, but there's this happens sometimes with some of these bigger places. So it doesn't sound like there was anything other than, of course, Molly barely surviving the Titanic. Doesn't sound like anything else major happened there that was terrible. So that's a good thing, because sometimes that can lead to, according to reports, that can lead to activity as well. So let's see here. The second article here is from onlyinyourstate.com. And the title is "The Story Behind Colorado's Most Haunted House Will Give You Nightmares." And so this is another article on this. Apparently, I've forgotten that there was actually a movie made about this as well, about Molly Brown, as well as a Broadway play. So, but again, that is all somewhat based on Molly Brown. She was actually born in Missouri in 1867, according to this account. article here, and she was she lived along the Mississippi River as a child with her Irish immigrant parents and 6 siblings. So after she turned 18, she moved to, I'm not sure if it's Leadville or Leadville, Colorado, which is where she met her husband, would-be husband later on. So who was also involved in business and mining and everything. And so again, we may have to do a show on the Titanic at some point. I'm just thinking about that now. We haven't done that yet. I don't believe, at least not. Remember we did. I'll have to look at that. If we didn't, then we need to at some point. But so this is the article asks what makes the place so haunted. Says that according to tour guides, the museum workers and the guests alike, the home will smell like, again, JJ's pipe smoke. There will be light bulbs that have been mysteriously undone, so I guess unscrewed, and even have furniture rearranged by what appears to be a spirit wearing a Victorian dress. Again, going back to that first article here. So claims have been made that the ghosts of the family members, which would be Molly and JJ, and other family members of past guests even can be seen there, while others have felt cold spots in strange locations. So, looking at the rest of this here, says that the article mentions here more skeptical side of things is the place haunted or do our senses play tricks on us? I do think that does happen, but I think it's a case of both of these things happen at different times. Our senses can play tricks on us, and other times there may be something going on there. So that's all I have for those 2 articles here. It gives the location of the place, and they talk about, again, the cold spots and apparitions being seen around corners. So I always wonder with these kinds of situations here, how much is residual and how much is actually intelligent beings, the consciousness of the people that lived there before or stayed there before. I don't know, but that is something to keep in mind with these places. And it's always hard when you don't have a ton of details because you figure out which is what is going on. Next place we have, and we won't get into these articles too much here, is the hotel. Is it Hotel Coronado? No, Hotel Colorado. That's the one we'll talk about next time. And got a few more places in Colorado after that. We have, let's see here. Looking at this thing here. So yeah, there's a lot here. But I think that's where we'll stop it for this episode as far as the haunted places, the articles I found. If you all have suggestions about places you'd like me to cover, I'd be happy to do that if I can find enough on them. We've talked about some other places before, as far as haunted places, like I know I've talked about the Amityville Horror House, whether that's actually haunted or not. That people debate that. And the Myrtle's Plantation, all these other places, and it's always amazing to me how many of these places are just there's activity said to be on them, and even in some cases where there's no historical records of the apparition that's supposed to be there, and yet it still appears. So we'll continue the series for as long as it takes to get through the U.S. Eventually, we will go to other places. We'll talk about other places, not go there. That costs money, and yeah. But talk about other places and other countries. Of course, we'll have to stick somewhat to places that have websites that will be in English overall, but just because I'm not the best at words, even when they are in English, and other words and names in other languages can be difficult as well. But so yeah, we have about 4 or 5 more locations here in Colorado. Um, if you go back into the archives of the show, you can find the previous states that we've covered in earlier shows. I would just suggest maybe putting in the search bar haunted places in the U.S., and that hopefully will get you to all those episodes from before. Because obviously we've already gone through all the other states that before Colorado. We're going alphabetically, and so yeah, I haven't been to a ton of places here in Michigan that are said to be haunted. I've just been to a couple, but they're definitely out there, and there's just so much that happens that, again, to me, I can't just write it all off as being imagined or exaggerated or hoaxed, because there's just way too many reports throughout the world, throughout the throughout time, about anomalous things happening to people, and including myself. So it's one thing when maybe you've never had an experience that you couldn't explain, but once you have one, and then you have several, it gets harder to deny that there's at least something going on. And so we'll continue with this series. We will continue with the Book of the Damned and Charles Fort's other books, reviewing those as well. And put out a couple of these shows here every other week or so. Also, since I have time here, if you have your own experience you'd like to share on the show or have read in the show, excuse me, you're welcome to send me a direct message on Discord with your account of your experiences, or you can also email it to me, salsidoparanormal at gmail.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal at gmail.com. And if it fits with the overall sort of themes of the show, we will include it. And or you can also always reach out to me in those ways if you would like to be on the show to talk about your experiences. And we do try to keep it somewhat family friendly here overall, as far as language, but also as far as we try not to go into any extremely negative situations or experiences. There's so many shows out there that already handle that, and they do so well at it that that's not the point overall of this show. So thank you all for listening to me ramble on there for that last few minutes. Just didn't want to start an article and have to stop it in the middle. And but maybe we'll next time. We'll see what happens if this happens again. So thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you all next time on Salsido Paranormal. Take care.